showing the clash detection I've done using Excel. So we start off with the CATIA model, which is open as usual, and you can see I've done some previous clash detections. Let's delete those. Right, what I've got here is Excel. I've created a function, and all this is going to do is run the standard CATIA Clash Analysis. Extract the results into an Excel sheet, and from there we can get some interactivity between Excel and CATIA. The first stage we do is we know everything's a view, run clash analysis. What it's going to do is going through, you can see there it's created a clash, and it's just gone through, it's done 264 clashes, it's finished them all. So what I'm going to do here is just clear that. And as you can see, it's got 264 clashes. Now if you just want to look at each one individually, it tells us what the clash value is, and this gives us some idea of the clash status. On here, because I can pre-record and look at, say, where a bolt and a nut clash, I can define those as being not applicable to this work. So the first thing I'm going to do, add automatic clash detection. Go back to my clash results. You see here we've got NFA, bits in here that are relevant, and I'll put in my filters. And you can see here I've got irrelevant, NFA, and relevant. So previously I decided that this particular one was irrelevant and will be irrelevant for all other future clashes. But I've also got these ones that are relevant, which basically means there's a clash that we need to have a look at. So if we just look at something like these two, which I know we're probably going, double click, puts everything in no show, and just show the two components that are clash. You can do a bit more clash then analysis in terms of looking at the see reframe on center graph, that tells you where this thing is, all the other bits and pieces. You can also then just do analyze clash between two selections, which will be that one and this one. Fine. So it's going to give us some idea what that one is. Okay. So there's two things I'm going to look at. So now if you see here there's an extra one, I'm not going to be using this. If you look at the spreadsheet, here, it already knows what the clash group is. So it ties that one into this clash here. In this case, I've determined that that one is irrelevant, and for future ones I don't want to see that. What I can do, you'll see very briefly that turned it relevant. So now I've got a few more. And what will happen is whenever we do future runs of this, it'll detect that these two combinations have appeared before and deem them irrelevant. So that gives us some idea of those classes. Now what we may want to do is let's just finally have a look and see what all the clashes are. It's going to strip out the irrelevant ones. And now all of these particular elements have some form of a clash that we need to analyze and detect to see whether it's relevant or irrelevant. And you would just go through that slowly but surely and analyze it. And what you would then have is this can be reused, rerun over and over again to find out what clashes are. In this little demonstration, I'll show how the CATIA and Excel and the VBA work to perform clash detection. Remember, we start off, we've got a model, and in Excel I've created an application. What I'll do is I'll step through and demonstrate what's happening as it goes on. So in the first case, what we start off with is we run the clash analysis. Just do that. F8. First thing now is I'm just going to clear all the clash results which we've previously done. Just get rid of all of those. That's just standard Excel. You can see it goes through there. And now, now you'll see that the sheet is now clear, so we can have our fresh clash results put in there. Next stage now is I'm going to connect Excel VBA with CATIA. And this is just using standard application, so we just go F8. And you can see here we just using that create the object. In this case is set. Okay. In general, it's better to have CATIA up and running before you try and do any of this. What we tend to find is it doesn't ever really start CATIA. Normally it doesn't make CATIA have to start on. But here we go. So we now know that we have CATIA. So we just go add watch. And you can see here CATIA is effectively exposed lots and lots of stuff to itself. So we've now made that connection. So this is what we'll end up calling. So we now know it's nothing. First thing now is I don't know what state the model is, so the first thing is I'm going to make sure every part is in show. And when it's in show, it means that clash detection can see all the parts and perform its clash detection. So F8, I'm now going to say set the part visibility equals true. Again, it just checks to see if there's a connection to CATIA. Make sure I've got the connection. Select everything. So if I'm going to save it. So now I'm going to find all parts that are invisible. Just a selection search. So it's found them all. Now it's just make them visible. Again, this program also can do the opposite, which is hide everything, which we use for other purposes. So selection is clear. Now we get to the bit where we're just going to ask CATIA to perform a clash detection. We just use this command, which is get a technological object to clashes. I'm going to add it. In this case, I'm doing a computation like this is between all parts. There's other bits where you can do a clash between one selection and another selection. We just want everything. Compute everything. And in this case, you can see the short hesitation because it's just done that work. And it's just done another one. You can see I've got previous ones. Now, if this is a larger model, it would take coordinate or slightly longer, but in this case, it's relatively quick because it's a relatively small model. Back to where we were. Now what we really want to do is just record those results. So as you can see, get them in. If I look at here, just all this does is tells me how many clashes it's going to be looking at. So, and I just put that as a little element here. Now I'm just going to get those results from clash for the first row, put them into my Excel sheet. So let's put the first clash result up there. These two components not clashing. There we go. And let's just let it go to the next row. So it's now filled in. And now what we've now done is we've performed the clash detection in CATIA. We've linked those results together, so I've got all the results in here. Now I've got another process here, just add clash detections. What I'm doing is looking to see where I have a clash or I don't have a clash. I also have a database behind this where if I have two parts which I know would normally clash but that's perfectly acceptable, I will find those as irrelevant. Examples are if a nut clashes with a bolt, well then the reality is that's acceptable in terms of our current analysis. So we add the clash results. So I'm going to fill in the comments. Effect. Go down there and just show that bit. So I can see here that row 5 I actually have a clash. So what this element is going to do to see is this one we've inspected before and have accepted, or is it something that we are going to have a look at? So in this case, goes and looks in our database. Have we seen them before? We haven't seen it before, therefore it's irrelevant. It's something we have to look at. So select that, and now let all of that finish. Now you can see it's filled all this. We've got NFA, and in here if I look at something like that's irrelevant, these are ones we previously had a look at and we deemed that they were not relevant. So the only ones we really want to look at are ones that are relevant. And look down here to see if we got that looks like another fastener. So when I go in here and double click on that, so what happens here? So when I double click back in here, so we'll have it and it'll tell me what row number it is and all that bit. So clash number is number 92. That's the clash group we need to be looking at. We make sure we don't look at the top row of headers. Here now we're just going to put a color so that we can see it. So you can see there, so we have visibility of what we've been looking at. Now what it's going to look at in this case, this is the ability where I can say whether this is relevant or whether I need to add that to my exclusion list. In this case, there's nothing in there yet. Go straight on. Now, if you remember, we're going to just show this clash alone. So, it's going to go in and set all parts to be invisible. That in CATIA. All parts are set. So just found them all. Now we want to make them invisible. And then we'll see they've all disappeared. Now the next stage is we want to just show the clash that we were looking at. So, go back to where it was. Now again, looks to see if we make a connection with them. Now this time, it's going to get the clashes. What it's going to do is to find that clash. And now I need to get the first one, the first part, the second part I've added to a selection set. Now that selection set I now set to be visible. And finally I want to just show all, or fit to screen. That just sends it to. Now when I look at CATIA, there's one of this little thing I don't want that. There you go. Now looking at this, I can see that it's probably a nut and bolt that is something that we would accept as VBA. Not something we would be interested in. So we just go in here, we type add, double click again. So now that, double click again. Notice it wants to do something. Now this time it's seen that it needs to do something, so it's going to add the clash results. Basically it's just going to say for that part and that part, and I need to put in the first and second. What that means now is that is no longer relevant to our clash results. So now it no longer appears in our little list. Just put relevant on there. You'll see they're all starting to appear. Now, the final thing we have, which is just based on this, is we just want to show all the clashes. So I'll just show that one. Go back in here again. Summary, show all clashes. And again, first thing it is, it's going to hide everything in no show. So that's all disappeared. And now what we do is we now go back. Now we're going to look for all our clash results. We're going to go through each one, and then we will show that clash. So let's just show that. So let's discover that row I is relevant. So it's going to show that. Again, it's just going to show. So there you go. So that's the first one. Now what we'll do is we'll go through the rest of them. Take that off. And then finish all. So it's now gone through all the clashes. If it's relevant, it's going to show it. So looking at this, these are all the clashes that we need to go and investigate. We're doing a clash analysis to see whether they're working or not working. And that's more or less all we do. And finally, if we just want to show the whole lot, there we are, back to where we wanted to be.